Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there we have it. Our first Rugby World Cup 2023 finalists, the All Blacks. And my God, people have written them off. They came through the ringer though. They had to play the current world champions, South Africa, in a warm-up game at Twickenham. Then rolled into the first game of their World Cup campaign against the French, the hosts, probably second favourites behind Ireland, and they get beaten. But do they fly under the radar? I don't think they did, because they put 94 points on a Six Nations team. Yeah, the Italians weren't great, but the All Blacks were there to prove a point. They've beaten the world number one, the Irish, the team that no one thought could be beat, en route to the semi-final. And then they dusted off the Argentinians like we've seen no other. 44-6, the biggest ever margin in a World Cup semi-final. And I know we all said that the quarterfinals were the semi-finals, but these boys are peaking nicely. So if you thought the All Blacks limped into this World Cup, well, let's talk about limping through it. The English play the South Africans today. Who will they face in the final? I can't see it being anyone but South Africa. Rassie Erasmus, by the way, the innovator. The man is next level. The 7-1 splitting, bomb squad wielding, 22-metre marking, scrum taking South African mutants. There's no way the English can put up against that, surely. Will there be a resurgence from the English from 2019? I can't see it happening, and I see it being a New Zealand versus South Africa World Cup final next week. So a quick look at how New Zealand demolished Argentina just there. Well, we heard from Brian O'Driscoll exactly how the Argentinians defend, and you saw that in the first try. The All Blacks narrow them up by going in and around the breakdown, and at that point, I think the Argentinians had 13 men inside the first post, leaving Will Jordan out wide, and all you had to do was put it through the subtle little hands of that giant man, Sam Whitelock, en route to be the first ever player to win 3 World Cups. What a bloke, what a player, puts it out of the back, Richie Mo'unga puts it over the top, and Will Jordan walks in for one of his 3 tries. How angry will he be with Richie Mo'unga this morning? He could have been the record try scorer in one World Cup, taking it past Brian Habana and the infamous Jonah Lomu. But like Ian Foster said in the post-match interview, keeps him hungry for next week. A few other notes to mention. Talea, after being a bad boy and missing the curfew and getting dropped against Ireland, that bloke had a point to prove. And my God, he's like a back row in a winger's body, fighting around the breakdown, doing exactly what the All Blacks wanted to do. They set out a tactic like they did against the Irish, going slightly softer on the edges and then attacking the breakdowns. Well, they did that against the Argentinians. They had a game plan, they executed it, and Talea was part of that. That guy is next level at the moment and up there as one of the best wingers in the world. Let's not forget to mention some blokes like Sam Cane, Frizzell, by the way, Ardie Savea. That back row is immense, but Frizzell, for me, just another level. He deserved that meat pie, taking 4 Argentinians over the line just after all the hard work done by Richie Mo'unga, going through that Argentinian defence time and time again like a hot knife through butter. The spine of that team, the Barrett brothers. By the way, how on earth do you have not just 3 related people playing in a team, but 3 brothers, 3 unbelievable servants to rugby and the All Blacks? Those boys were on fire yesterday, and a couple of them coming away with some meat pies as well. You just look at how clinical the All Blacks were yesterday. I mean, first half, 3 visits into the 22-metre of the Argentinians, coming away with 3 tries. People were talking about the conditions and how it was raining, how it was greasy, and it's going to affect the game. Didn't seem to affect them. It affected the Argies, but my God, the All Blacks were just different gravy. That handling, the way they played the game, the way they just stepped up and carried on going, and to put an absolute drumming of 44-6. And so there you have it. The All Blacks are there and waiting for South Africa or England in what could be their 4th ever World Cup win. They've been in 5 World Cup finals. There's only been 10. It's absolute madness. And I'm surprised that people were writing these boys off at the beginning of the tournament, because they're here to do the job. The All Blacks are peaking nicely.